What's going on? I wanted to start an episode where I could show you some of the results that I've had with my junk removal company. And so the results that we are looking at, I am primarily looking January 1st till now, which is February 18th. And which is interesting because I compared the winter months right now to and then I backed up a little bit to last September, and I was pretty surprised by what I found. So, but first, I have all kinds of marketing going on, and so it was kind of eye opening to me to kind of have this bird's eye view, and I thought since I'm snowed in, I'll take advantage and kind of take a look at these numbers, share with you, and then kind of share you my game plan and show you kind of where the weak spots are. So I'm just gonna pull up the numbers here. So when I share my screen, you should be able to see what I'm looking at. Okay. So the first tab I have open is my Google Ads account. And so I can tell right off the bat, it's probably the worst performing campaign or the most expensive. I mean, it's working, but like that for the month of January, I got 30 conversions, and I'm just going to do the math on that. Is that even a very good conversion rate? Let me see. $38 leads, that's pretty good. But here's the deal. I was getting mattress and appliance leads, a bunch of those. And so I disabled those. And then this month has just been really slow. I think it's just been 6 leads this month. I think it's just been really, I mean, in Missouri, the Midwest, it's what's the temperature right now? Just gonna pull it up right here. It is 3 degrees right now, and it's gonna be -10 tomorrow. So it's just been really cold, and obviously, I think that's just part of it. But I do know, like the Google Ads campaign that I have is really lucrative. I mean, I've gone through courses, I've set up all my ad groups, negative keywords, and am continually adding negative keywords and keeping an eye on it. I just got it set up in December, up and running, testing a little bit in December, and then running it a little bit more in January and this month. But I just have to keep working at it. So that's kind of what's going on with Google Ads. As far as that goes, I'm gonna probably dedicate the least amount of budget just because it's so expensive. Unless you have a huge budget, I would dive in later on. Maybe during the busy season, I'll you know put more focus on it or budget behind it. But yeah, so that's Google Ads. And then I have the landing page associated with that. So Google Local Service Ads, that's pretty good. Since January, 58 leads, and the conversion rate on that, that's pretty. I'm gonna do the math here. $34 leads. That's pretty good. And I'll show you the results on that for as far as actual jobs. It's interesting, kind of what I found with the actual jobs that I convert on that. So we'll get to that. But yeah, if you want jobs and phone calls for sure, I would run these. You got to optimize it the right way to where you're not paying $80 a call, but there's a way to do that, and you just have to turn off or set your budget where you're going to tell them you're not willing to pay a certain amount. So you'll be good there if you do that. Moving on, so Facebook ads. This one's interesting. I've been getting, um, I'm going to pull up 60, just do the numbers, sorry. So I've been getting $11 leads, really good low cost leads. They're so in the Facebook account, it says I got 97 messages, but really actual leads with like a name, phone number that came through. I use ManyChat where it collects that information. It's about 60 leads since January 1st, so about a month and a half. And surprisingly, so I'm going to keep this running because I looked at the actual jobs, and it's the most profitable campaign. So I'll for sure prioritize the Facebook campaign to get leads coming in. Okay, the next tab is CallRail. This is tracking all my yard signs, and this is the past. So the past year, I've been getting 8 to 12 calls a month. So last year, I was just putting, five to 15 signs out at a time a month, maybe 20 signs a month, and or maybe more. Really, from January last year until December last year, the whole year, I only put out 100 yard signs and got close to like 80 calls that last year. What's interesting is January of this year and this month of February, I put out close to 100 already and got 13 calls in January, 12 calls this month. It's only the 18th. So I bet this will be my biggest month. Obviously, you're going to get more calls the more yard signs you put out. So I will keep doing that. But I know that when March and April hit, I'm going to be so busy. It's going to be really hard to, because I did have some downtime I had time to actually get out there and place them. So there's yard signs. My website, I get trickles of inquiries. So I've got 16, and that's just, every now and again I get somebody filling out a form, and I'm sure I get more phone calls from the website as well. I probably should put a tracking number. I don't have that set up, but I need to get that done. So here's what's interesting. So I'm looking at my reporting of my jobs, and the most jobs I'm getting as of January are Google local service ads, but they out of the main campaigns that I'm running, it's a lower average job size at $185. So 21 jobs and then 185, which is pretty low. And then Google, I'm not sure that could have been coming from anywhere. Probably from the other campaigns that I'm running, it's just crossing over. I just couldn't track it, which is 16 just coming from Google. But Facebook ads, here's interesting observation. I got 10 jobs this year from a Facebook ads. Average job site is 247, almost 250. So a bigger average job site. I know all of these categories. The average job sites needs to go up. Um, I I think it's slow, and so I'm just trying to get people on the team. But I'll explain that in a minute. Um, and then you can see the other categories uh, of jobs trickling in. So they're all kind of working together. But here's another observation: what needs to improve. I need to significantly improve my sales on the phone because I'm getting a lot more leads and not as many jobs. Like the leads that coming in versus the actual jobs that I'm scheduling. And that could possibly be the winter. And I also know the way I've been selling, I've been changing it up. I was doing it wrong. I was quoting them before I get there. but I'm doing more just getting them on the schedule and then quoting. So I think that'll help, but I still feel like there's some room for improvement. So I'm going to be doing some deep diving into how to sell better, how to close better. So I think we can always improve in that area. So what is pretty interesting in this other report that I have. So versus instead of just looking at this year, I backtracked since last September. And I chose September because that's when I actually started logging everything for every job, like the job size and amount versus just like the client name. So what's interesting is my number one, besides just generic Google jobs, which I don't know exactly where they're coming from. I'll try to do a better job, like I said, to make sure they are tracking. But repeat customers. Holy cow. I was really surprised by that, but I guess that makes sense. You get everybody in the door, you work really hard to advertise and promote yourself, but you're going to get repeats. And so that was the biggest average job size that I've had. And my second number two category of customers is the repeats and 271 for average job size. So that was hopeful because the that I think that's going to happen again when it hits March and in the busy season. That's what I predict when I start when it starts getting warmer and busier. Is those repeats are going to start showing up. In fact, I had a repeat call me today in the snowy day, and I'm going to be taking care of him tomorrow. But the other thing is, I ran an SMS campaign January, and I sent out just a like a little, just Happy New Year type thing and letting them know kind of the exciting things that are happening with the new dump truck and that type of thing. And so I've had since then, nobody at the time. I didn't get any jobs at the time, but the a few cool things happened since then. I was in town and a guy just rolled up and he had his window down in his truck and I rolled down my window in my truck and it was one of my past customers and he complimented on the decals in the new truck and he said, "Yeah, I saw a post somewhere about your new dump truck," and I knew that was my text because I didn't post that anywhere, or maybe I did, but he 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 remembered that. And then I had another customer today that I helped her daughter, so I'm going to help her get her stuff taken care of tomorrow. So, and on top of that, the text message campaigns I had, there's probably 12 to 15 people out of, I think I sent it to 300 people. Those 10 to 15 people said, "Oh, yeah, in the spring we'll be ready." So I know I'm going to hit them again with the text, everybody. And I'm sure by then, because I'll tell them, "Hey, there's doing a spring cleaning route this week," and, send them another reminder. And I bet get some more jobs that way. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. Definitely need to work on sales. And and can see kind of where to allocate budgets for certain marketing channels and keep an eye on things. So hopefully, hopefully that's helpful for you of what you could do. I feel like like set up as many channels as you can that's affordable for you. And, I feel like you can't just rely on one channel, like yard signs, like you can place yard signs all over, but the end of the day, each channel is only going to get you, 15 to 50 leads a month if you're really pushing it. But really, like the yard signs for me were like 10 to 20, and then uh, the other channels, 30 each or so. But yeah, so if you need work, just set up as many channels as you can. And if you're not closing them like me, got to work on that sales. So that's all I got for you. Hopefully that's helpful, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.